Hey, good afternoon. It's 3:30 on Monday. Do you have your afternoon beverage? I've got some water here. Stay hydrated. Welcome to Pat's Stamping Place. I'll wait a minute to see if anybody hops on and grab a little bit of water here, a little hydrated. Or dehydrated, so I want to be hydrated. Got you there. All right. This has been quite a day. I'm getting ready to go out of town tomorrow. And if anybody knows me at all, I tend to overpack. And consequently, I can't do that this time. I'm not on Southwest Airlines that gives you 2 free bags. So I'm downsizing and scaling back with what I need to take. And I know I never need everything that I take anyway, but there are certain things I have to have. So anyway, I'm actually going to try and fly with a carry-on and a personal item and not check a bag because they also charge for a bag. So I'll wait about another minute, see if anybody hops on, then I'm going to get started. I've got 2 quick and easy cards to show you today. And if you saw my intro or saw it on Facebook, we're going to do some sunny stamping today. Okay, we're about 2 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I think sometimes people do watch. Oh, hi, Rose. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Forgot what I was going to say. Oh well. Anyway, sunny stamping. And so let's get my supplies and things out here. Going to stay, hi Fran, I'm going to stay pretty monochromatic with Bumblebee, which reminds me that the Bumblebees are back in stock. So they go with another suite of products, but I love them, so I will have to get some more of them. They're so cute. I'll be using those on one of the projects. And then, before I forget that, the ladybugs. Christine, hello there. How are you? Long time no see. The ladybugs are on the retired list, so they're going to be gone at the end of June, which is coming up very quickly. So I'll be using those 2 because those are so much fun. Actually, it looks like there's more than 20 in here, and there are because I believe I had 2 of those, so I combined that. Thank you, Gloria. I will have a safe trip. I'm so excited to go and spend some time with the family. Hi, Sue. Welcome. It's been a year ago, well, December of 2020, where I saw the family for Grace's graduation, and then last April when I was recovering from my surgery. But otherwise, it's been over a year and a half. So I'm very excited to go and spend time with them and get ready for a new baby. All right. First of all, let me show you the card that I'm going to make. The first one. Yes, this is the first one. And it's this one with a large background stamp called Daisy Garden. So I don't know if you've seen this one. There, try to get the glare out of the way. Daisy Garden is one of the large background stamps. And for that reason, then I'm going to use the Stamparatus today because I find that using that gives me good coverage rather than using the big block. So that makes it a little bit harder. So this is card number 1. And where does the Sunny stamp come from? Another of my favorites called Sunny Sentiments. Thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. Anybody can use sunny thoughts at any time. Happy hello. Thank you. There's even a birthday one in here and somebody you've been out of touch with for a while. So these are great sentiments. So let's get going. So I've not been out. I don't think I've been out much today. I was either packing or prepping for this. So I don't know really what it's doing out there. So I'm assuming that it's the weather's pretty good. Okay, this is for the inside of the card. And this is for the panel that's going to go up here. And then I will stamp at the bottom, all using the Stamparatus. If you don't have a Stamparatus or have some kind of stamp positioning tool, just know that with the large background stamps, this is so much easier. It saves having to get that big block, and it's just an easy way to get good crisp image. I'm going to place the stamp set under this. I guess maybe I need to zoom out a little bit. Can I do that? Okay, with my face up there, I know there's a way to do it. My friend Nancy showed me how, but I forget how. So anyway, this is over here. I want to make sure I stay in the camera for most of this. And I'm going to put this small piece up here. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use the entire piece. I'll use more of it on the second card. And I'm going to use Bumblebee. This is an in color from last year, so this will stay for the rest of this year, one more year. This includes Just Jade, Cinnamon Cider, Misty Moonlight, and Magenta Madness. So I'm going to, let me move this over a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp. And the joy of this is if you don't get a good coverage the first time, as long as you don't move your paper, then you're good to go. And I have this marked on my grid sheet. You can get these little grid sheets with your Stamparatus. And I've got it marked here where I want to put the card base for this card. So that's going to go here. If you think it's going to move, you've got magnets underneath. But I think the way I've got this set up, the magnet will be in the way. So let me see. Yeah, the magnet's going to be in the way. So that's not going to work for this. You can also take a small bit of adhesive and put down and then kind of unstick it. Hey, Elena, welcome. And put that down there so it really doesn't tear your card. So there we go. And just use the palm of your hand to get a crisp image. And that looks pretty good, but it's a little light right here. So I'm going to add a little bit more. The paper didn't move. And oh, that's much better. Much, much better. And I'll come back to that in a minute. And now I'm going to add this to, I'm going to close that up so I don't get my fingers in it. I'm going to add that to a piece of basic black. And this just to give you the dimensions of what I've got here. The white panel is 3 3/4 by 3, and the black piece is about 1/8 of an inch, 3 7/8 by 3 1/8. Now, I'm going to show you a tip and a trick that I've learned recently, and do it on this small piece of paper, and we'll do it again on the other one. I like to use tear and tape, and not necessarily that I would always use it for this kind of a project, but this is a good tip to use. You can add your tear and tape. I'm going to put it in on all 4 sides just so you can see. And since this is a small piece, it's not like I'm really wasting anything. It is a great adhesive, but if you've used it at all, you also know that it is very unforgiving. And when it's there, it's there. It is not going anywhere. So once you have it down, there's no repositioning. So this is my little trick. Start pulling it back, and if you've got fingernails, it'll do that. Or take a pick tool. See if I can get that pulled under. And just pull it back a little bit and pull it off to the side. Do that on all 4 sides. Just enough to get it released. Pull it off to the side. In other words, you're making a little tab here. Next side. This is so clever. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh my gosh. I believe I saw this from a stamper. She's not a demonstrator in New Zealand. I happened to catch a video one night. And one more. So if you see where I'm going with this, you can figure out what I'm doing. So that's going to go on the black piece. And especially when you're working with 1/8 inch, an 1/8 of an inch, you want that to be perfectly straight. Because if it's not, it's really going to show on your card. So there, we've got that down. And there's enough give there that if I do need to reposition it, I can. But this is the really cool thing. I love this. Now that I know that it's straight, and it looks straight all the way around, although it's not pushed all the way down, that I could still pull that off a little bit. But now I just pull this off, zip, 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 and one more little zip. Okay, I think I got it all there. Yeah. And that is it. It's straight. You have a good coverage. It's not going to come apart. And we're good to go. So that's going to go on here like this. Before I stamp the sentiment at the bottom, I'm going to take some Bumblebee gingham ribbon. This was a carryover from last year. I love this ribbon. I love anything gingham. It just reminds me of something that's fresh and crisp, and yeah, you're welcome. It's a great tip. Anybody will love that. Just gingham, it reminds me of something that's fun, and maybe we wore gingham dresses when we were little. I don't know. But anyway, I am going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this to hold my ribbon down. Position where I want that to go. And I'm sure I've got more than enough ribbon. When I was doing my sample last night, I didn't give myself enough ribbon, and I thought, I can't tie that bow. that way. So let's see if I can, there we go. And then, well, there we don't go. Okay, we need a little bit more on that end. Okay. And then for this one, I wanted a bow, not just a knot. So here's another little trick. Take a glue dot, get a mini glue dot, and here's where the take a pick tool. Hi, LJ. Take a mini glue dot and put under the, well, I got more than I wanted there. Hello. Okay, we'll throw that one away. Put that little mini glue dot, especially if you don't have somebody around who can put a thumb on your knot for you. So that will hold it down. And now I can tie a bow. Okay, I think I went backwards on that and it got twisted. So I can always retie it, but I'm not going to do that right now, I don't think. Nope, that's going to make me crazy. I'm sorry, I got to do it over. That little twist there just wasn't going to do it. Okay, third time's a charm, ladies. And I know this ribbon is long enough. It's my thumbs, all thumbs today. This should not be the hardest part of the card. But then again, it might be. Oh, goodness sakes. There we go. I think we got it. There. It's not twisted. It's not my best bow, but it's a bow. Okay. A bow is a bow. And for now, that's going to work. Believe me, the sample looks a whole lot better. And I struggled with that one a little bit, but that's okay. It's going to go on here, and I'm going to use dimensionals to add this to the back of the card. And so soon it will be done. Oh, I'm sorry, LJ. Thank you. I meant to leave that up here. Glad you said that. Maybe you weren't watching how I was struggling with that bow. I positioned my camera a little bit in a different spot, so it's a little bit further away from me, and I should not have done that. So thank you for pointing that out. That's why I've got my little grid paper here, because that way I know that it's in camera view. Okay, so this is going to go on the card like so. And trust me, I'm not even going to trim that off because I know that I'm going to redo that. So that's going there. Now I could have done the sentiment first, but I want to show you how I'm going to do the sentiment. And this is going to be the, I thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. Okay, I'm going to use the Stamparatus again, and this time I can pull out the magnet. Where did I put, oh, the magnet's over here, stuck to something else. There are 2 magnets that comes with it. but typically you just need one. And if they ever get together, they're going to crash. Okay, so I've got my sentiment already positioned where I want it to go. And I'm going to put this up here at the top. Get that silly bow out of the way. And okay. This is going to be an epic fail today. Let's let the magnet hold that ribbon down. Ta-da! Okay. And this is going to go right here. So let's get my Memento ink pad. There, can you see Christine now? Thank you. So I'm inking it, and I know that's off camera. So I've inked it, but it fits in the Stamparatus like this, and will come right down and stamp exactly where I want it to go. If this is your first time visiting and watching me, it's not always this crazy, so I apologize. I won't move my camera again. I'll keep it where it always was in the past. So I thought that was a little bit light, so I'm going to stamp it again. And that is a much better image there. Okay. Something's got to be done. We're going to tie a knot. And take care of this ribbon once and for all. Okay, I can always go back and tie the bow later, but I am going to trim that off and make this finished. Okay, I just tied a knot. There we go. Christine, yes, you can disrupt the class. What would you like to say? Okay, and here's the panel that's going to go inside. And let me show you how I'm going to stamp that. If you'll look here, I just had a little bit down along the bottom. And rather than reposition and take this off and reposition it, what I'm going to do is use the hinge to push this down, use the hinge of the Stamparatus, and just position my paper where I want some of those to go at the bottom. And we'll go back to the bumblebee. I knew you were just kidding. That makes me laugh. Thank you. Oh, goodness sakes. There we go. So between the not on camera and the glare, there we go. Okay, so that's going to go move back up and put this on the inside. And somehow I got some ink on there. And I've got this. You can get these, I think, on Amazon or something. It's a mono sand eraser for when you get ink where you don't want it. And if you catch it pretty quick and it's not a very dark spot, you can always take care of that. You can always splatter it. You find a little splatter stamp, but I think that looks okay. Okay, let's just add some regular adhesive to the back of this. And that's done. I've already done the envelope, and I did it the same way by adding everything is sticking to everything. I just put a grid sheet under the flap and positioned that where I wanted it to go. So I did do that ahead of time. So we've got a decorated envelope. And let's see if I can do a little bit better on the next one. Keep this up here. All right. Oh, I know what I forgot. The bumblebee. This one's going to get a bumblebee. Yes, I really don't think I could live without the Stamparatus, but it's definitely something it's like an appliance in your kitchen. If you don't leave it out, you won't use it. So keep it out so it's handy. That's what I do with all the things that are in my kitchen. Let's see, I think I'll put the bumblebee hovering. And I think it's easier if you put your mini glue dot on first, and then you can pick up the bumblebee. You could use your take a pick tool, put your bumblebee over there, and let him look like he's flying to get the nectar out of there. I want to show you something just to get an opinion. No, never mind. I will do that on the next card. Of adding some little black spots to the middle of that. I don't know. I think I like it like that. I think I'll leave it like that. All right. Number 2. This is using the same products, slightly different. And it's a full card. So here's what I was just referring to. Thanks, Fran. I know you like daisies. Okay, this one is a full card in the front, and it's got the not the bumblebee, the ladybug, the little ladybug on there. But I added the black dots in the center with the black Stampin' Blend. This is the dark basic black. So, what do you think? Black dots or no black dots? Like I didn't on this one. So think about it. Let me know when I get done with it. Now for this one, I have that little piece of adhesive there. And that's where I want to position this. Keep in mind, you're not going to get the whole background on that, but just enough. The bottom part, I think I do too. It adds something to it. The bottom part will not stamp on this, but this part will. And again, the image is too large to add the magnet to it. So I'm just going to leave that off. There is another trick for, oops, oh dear. I do not want to use black on that. So let's clean that off. That would be a disaster. I did do a couple of these with the black instead of the tone on tone. And it just was too harsh. So I was just cleaning that off screen because I got some black there. I picked up the Memento black instead of the Bumblebee. Okay, don't mean to be so frazzled today. Bear with me. Okay, so back to the bumblebee again. So this time you can see me adding it to the image, to the stamp, I mean. Put it back on the Stamparatus and make sure that this did not move with that tiny piece of adhesive that's under there. And use the palm of your hand to give it some pressure. And this is probably one where it might not be a bad idea to stand up and do this, but it definitely needs more ink. I've used this so much, I probably need to re-ink it. I used to stamp standing up all the time. Do you stamp standing up or sitting down? And then when I got this little setup, I started stamping sitting down, and I don't know which I like better. This definitely, yeah, Gloria, I think you're right. Okay, much better, but there was one little spot over here that didn't quite get it. Right there. Better. Now, if you didn't have a Stamparatus and you were just using the large block, that would not have been possible without either turning it over, and then if you still didn't like it, you would start over. So, and I still had a clean side on the other side if I needed to. So let's get rid of this. And I'm going to do that same little trick again. If you didn't catch this at first, because this is a much bigger piece, and instead of putting it on all four sides, putting the tear and tape on all four sides, I'm just going to do the top and the bottom. And that's still plenty of adhesive. So pull it back. There we go. And then pull it off to the side so you've got a little tab there. Do the same thing here. And pull it off to the side. And now I can position this. Again, it's with the 1/8 of an inch around. I think the white, the basic white, is 5 by 3 3/4, and then 1/8 of an inch, so 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So now I've got those two little tabs, and I can just pull those off, and it will align perfectly. There we go. Now for this one, I'm going to put a little sentiment here with just hello, and this comes from the stamp set called Biggest Wish. And this is a great one. You can combine, I've got some samples that I'll probably work with this a little bit more after I come back, where you could put, you've got birthday in the large font, and then the text, and then happy birthday. There's so many different things you can do with this. Thanks friend, hello friend, friend up here. It's great. So I'm just using the hello. And if you remember last week, I showed you, I think I will use the black, put the black centers. That seems to be the happiest way to do this. I showed you the Hippo and Friends die set, and telling you that for these alone, these label sizes alone, it's worth it to get these. And then this is the card that I did last week and showed you what these little things were for. If you can see that, okay? These little slots are good for this size ribbon. And then these little things, these little ones, are good for the smaller ribbon, like the bumblebee that I'm using today. So there are other things here. If you don't want the hippo and the little sheep and the unicorn, the butterfly, this little squiggly, it's just a great die set to consider, even without the stamp set. So I hope this stays around. It's a carryover, so it is in the annual catalog. So let's get some ribbon going here. Where did my ribbon go? Right here. So that makes quite a nice hole. Those little things, I was kind of surprised because that's the first I'd used that. So this one is just hello. It's twisted back here. And this one, I'm going to skip the part about tying anything. So I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of this. So this will be a little bit different. And put a dimensional there and there. Let's do 3. There we go, and slide this around, and I'm going to do dimensionals back here too. See, I don't need that much ribbon. And use a dimensional to secure the ribbon. Let's see, that looks pretty good. And snip that off, and then add more dimensionals. You can never have too many dimensionals. And don't forget to add them in the center so that your card doesn't collapse. And I think that is good. Whoops, need one up in this corner. And let's, okay, now this is a side fold card. Where this one that I did was a top fold card. So let's see about doing the center on this one. Since I already have the sentiment on the Stamparatus, let's see here. Let's do it that way. So it's going to go a little bit different than what I did on the sample. Okay, I'm going to use the hinge again to move it down so I can stamp at the top. That's good. Yep, that's going to be good. Now I need the Memento ink. And let's move this up so you can see what I'm doing. Perfect. And then to add a few daisies along the side here, I'm going to use the hinge again and move this over. You can position so many different ways. And just add a few. Let's move it down just a little bit. Just be creative. As in the bumblebee. Bee. Okay. That's good. And back to the bumblebee. So, almost done. Thanks, LJ. It's going to overlap just a little bit, but it will add a little bit more dimension to the inside of the card. Whoa, that didn't get any ink at all. I think it's probably because I was inking the wrong side of the stamp. Good grief. There we go. Oh my goodness, wasn't paying attention. So I was doing all the inking over here, and it was inking here instead of on here. I needed to ink on this side, so. There we go. That looks much, much better. So, thanks for hanging in with me. This is a little bit longer than I typically do a live, so almost finished. Let's put this on the inside with just some regular adhesive. And I will add some little dots. It seems like that was the good suggestion for everybody, and I think it does add a little bit. So I'm just going to take the bullet end of the Stampin' Blend of the basic black. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice. That was kind of an afterthought when I thought that the cards needed something else. And there we go. I guess being left-handed, you can't really see what I'm doing. I'm covering up what I'm doing. I stamp right-handed, but I write left-handed. Kind of my craziness there. And on this one, let's add a ladybug, or maybe two, since I've got a lot of these. And where did my, yeah, there they go. Mini glue dots go. So I'm going to use a take a pick tool. And I'm going to put one down here on the hello. And one up on one of the flowers. Yes, I remember when we had puff paint. Oh my goodness. We had puff paint. We had, what was the fluffy stuff called that we used to put on bears when we had the bear stamp? Oh my goodness. Yes, times have really changed. And for this one, I'm going to use the take a pick tool, this tip right here, and pick up one of these little guys. It should hold on. These are heavy. Put that on there. Yeah, I really like the black. That really does make it pop. And find where I put the other one. So there we go, ladies. How about that? I like it. Turned out well. So thank you for being here today. These are the two cards, one with a black center and one without. They're both good. Bumblebee, Ladybug. And here we've got the inside. Thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. And I see that I smeared that a little bit. Sometimes the Memento ink doesn't dry quite as quickly as we think that it probably should. But thanks, Christine. It was really good to, quote unquote, see you. Haven't seen you in a very long time. Hope you're doing well. And then this one is just empty on the inside with the sunny thoughts out there. Okay. Remember, I won't be here next week. I'm going to take a week off so I don't have that stress because I don't know what we're doing from day to day. Just for those of you who also know me going to Texas, we are going to Waco on Wednesday and go to the Magnolia things. It's been a while since I've been there, and I understand they've made quite a few changes to all of the stuff they have there, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I will be back on the 28th of June. Can you believe? Just a few weeks ago it was June 1st, and pretty soon it's going to be the end of June. So I will finish up June and see you on the 28th. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.